What is Use Me?
Use Me is my first feature film. It is a thriller, and it's a film that blurs the line between fantasy and reality right from the very first frame. It started as a documentary about Sierra Lynch, who's a world-famous online humiliatrix, which basically means she is well paid by men to verbally abuse them and take large sums of money from them and fantasy roleplay blackmailing them. Crazy stuff, but they love it. So in the film, I play myself, a documentary maker, doing a film about Sierra Lynch, trying to find out who the real Sierra is. I develop some feelings for her. I uncover some aspects of her work that she was trying to hide from me, and things go deliciously awry. That's Use Me.
So it had several sort of evolutions to it. I know it had a different title, which we can get into later, but it started out as one thing, or it always was that one thing?
No, I mean, look, I just thought this person, Sierra Lynch, is a great subject for a documentary. And I wrote to her and I said, I'd love to meet you and film some stuff and see if there could be a documentary project in this. And she luckily knew who I was because she'd seen It's Time, that marriage equality short we were talking about. So that gave me a bit of cut through because obviously she's got men sliding into her DMs all day, every day. So luckily I got some traction there and she was like, come to Portland, let's meet. So we did that, filmed her for a few days, and it went awesome. It went really well. She was everything I hoped for and more. I mean, she was incredible. But I also just had this nagging feeling like, I don't really see a documentary in this. Because honestly, she was super well adjusted, super hardworking, happy person, down to earth. What's the story, you know? So I actually realized that there were some murky aspects of what she did that I really wanted to explore in a fictionalized story. And that idea came pretty early. And it kind of developed from there. And she was down for a film that kind of busted through that genre line of documentary and played in a more narrative space while still incorporating elements of reality. She was really down for that. She loved that concept. So it became a real amazing collaboration over the last few years. Yeah.
Did you actually write out a script with like a 3-act structure?
Totally wrote a 90-page screenplay. My producer, Jonathan, insisted. And I said to him, look, but there's going to be a lot of improv and this and that. And he was like, I get it. I get what you're making. But write a Hollywood formatted standard 90-page screenplay first, which was grueling. But it was a good exercise because that was kind of the platform upon which we could improvise or we could tweak the story or take it in a different direction. So, I would say to anyone who thinks they want to make a fully improvised feature, I mean, do write as much as you can. Because eventually you have to write it. Like I remember the last scene in the film, in my script it just said like improv, and then it had a few notes. So then you get to the day where you're shooting the last scene and you're like, oh, great. All I did was defer writing it. Like now I have to write it under pressure and we're losing light and I need another coffee and we've got 1 hour to shoot this scene. Why didn't I just write it before? So it is dangerous to rely on improv. I think you do need that solid foundation. Get that. Stand on that, and then you're actually free to go wherever you want to go. That's really been my learning. The more prepared you are, the more flexible you are. It's kind of ironic, but that's kind of my biggest lesson. Yeah.
Forgive me if this is too personal, but your ex-girlfriend was in the film?
She is,
okay.
Yeah, Sarah Armanius. Amazing actor. I went out with her for 10 years. And I had started making this film while we were breaking up.
Oh.
Yeah. And, we had a conversation about it, about the film and about how maybe there's going to be a storyline, involving this character's girlfriend and he's gone through a breakup. And maybe because she's an actor, she's a creative person, she was like, okay, well, maybe we should incorporate this. If this whole thing is about art imitating life, then let's use that. So there are actually scenes from our real breakup that are in the movie.
Oh, wow.
She gave full consent. She knew it would be in a fictionalized film. But yeah, it's pretty raw. It's pretty real. And I think the audience can feel that. It's kind of uncomfortable to watch, but yeah, she was down for it, and I'm grateful. She's a terrific actor. If she wasn't an actor, I don't think she could have done that and had the camera going on while we were going through this crazy, breakup. But she's great. She's a great actor.
And you had seen Sierra on the Joe Rogan podcast, or you found out about her work other ways?
That was subsequently. I discovered her online accidentally. I'll leave to your imagination how I discovered her.
Okay. Just went down a rabbit hole and
totally.
Oops, here I am.
No, totally. It was on YouTube.
Okay.
It wasn't on Pornhub or anything. I discovered her on YouTube. I don't know how I got there. I mean, I really don't. I shudder to think how I got there. But what happened was then I went to her website. And of course, she's a very attractive woman and very sexy. Okay, but just because someone's sexy doesn't mean that you think you're going to build a film around them. What it was her website and this blog that she wrote. She was just so intelligent. And there was this design to the whole Sierra Lynch character. And there was this extraordinary command of social media and this blurring of the line between fantasy and reality. And I was just intrigued. I was like, this person is quite brilliant. And then I learned about these fetishes I'd never heard of, like financial domination, which is kind of important in the film. Again, it's a fetish where men get turned on by giving vast amounts of money to a woman and getting nothing back. That's a turn on. Luckily, I don't have that particular fetish.
You just get married. I mean,
this is what people say. I've had a few people say, I think my wife is a mental humiliatrix.
Okay.
But, I really was fascinated by Sierra and, again, the interplay of the persona with reality, the blurred lines. It was all there right from the beginning, just from going on her website. And I made a film that, I guess, reflected that fascination that I had with her. Yeah.
And sorry, again, if this is too personal, we can stop if it is, but you did develop real feelings for Sierra?
I'm not sure that I would go that far, but, I think that the pleasure of this movie is that people can watch it and interpret it however they like. And they can, hopefully they just get caught up and emotionally engaged in the story. That's the main thing. Because when they do that, what I keep hearing is, we don't really care what's real and what's not. We just like the story and we just cared about the characters. However, if you do like that more meta aspect, people are having a lot of fun picking what's real, what's fiction very closely inspired by reality, what's thinly veiled reality. People have fun with that. So I'm more putting this out there. I don't necessarily want to comment on exactly where the line gets blurred, but people are enjoying figuring that out for themselves. So I don't want to ruin their fun.
Well, you said previously that you just want to tell a great story. It doesn't matter really whether it's edgy or not, but why this story? Why does it intrigue you so?
Well, it wasn't the sex. I mean, it really wasn't. And that became apparent to me after 3 days of working on what I thought was a documentary. Because the whole thing runs out of steam. Yes, it's fascinating hearing about these fetishes. Yes, it's titillating and sexy. And then what? I mean, you watch that for 15 minutes, and as an audience, you're like, okay, now what?
Sure.
And that was kind of where I got to. So, why this story? I liked it because it let me explore some deeper themes about addiction, about narcissism, and this world that we live in now, which I'm guilty of, which is selfie culture and turning yourself into a brand. And, especially in our line of work where you have to have a social media presence, we all do that. It's performative, and we use the raw materials of our life to make a story that's kind of fake and then put it out there for the world to see. So I was just fascinated by where the world has been going and the narcissism in our culture, and also saying, hey, I'm a part of that, So it allowed me to explore that. And then even ideas of what the American dream is, right? I mean, Sierra, she sold her excrement for $4,000.
Oh, wow, okay.
And in the film, her real lawyer, he says she's living the American dream.
Well, yeah.
So, if that's the American dream, I need to dig a bit deeper into what the American dream means. So I kind of did that in the film. So it allowed me to explore a lot of issues I was really interested in exploring. Yeah.